And of course, Team USA basketball, they got to stir up some drama. They got to stir up some drama with Paige Bueckers hitting a shot on Caitlin Clark. They got to stir up some drama, and of course, just setting both of them up to get cooked in the comments.
Some people already can't stand each other. And after 5 long months of waiting to see Caitlin Clark play real, competitive basketball, this is what everyone reacted to. One simple practice clip, and people completely lost their minds. So why does a single shot during a drill cause this much noise? What does that say about basketball fans today? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Team USA released practice footage from their training camp in North Carolina, and one clip in particular set everything off.
We're not going to act like CC wasn't getting PB to turn over that ball last time like they played 3 times. The last time they played like 3 times. Yeah. Paige Bueckers thought Caitlin Clark was on her team. See, she turned the ball over so much. I hope you all are monitoring the negative, nasty comments.
The internet went into full meltdown mode after one short clip. Paige Bueckers made a shot over Caitlin Clark during what was clearly a routine defensive drill, and the reactions were instant and wildly over the top. Let's be clear about what actually happened. This wasn't a one-on-one battle. It wasn't a live scrimmage. Nothing was on the line. It was a standard practice drill designed to work on defense and decision-making. Paige took a shot and made it. Caitlin was simply doing her job on defense. That's the whole story. Nothing more. But USA Basketball knew exactly what they were doing when they posted that clip. They had plenty of other options. Caitlin hitting deep threes, Cameron Brink swatting shots, or any number of highlight plays. Instead, they chose the one moment where Paige scored on Caitlin, fully aware it would spark debate and drive engagement. And it worked. The comments section instantly turned chaotic. Caitlin Clark's fans jumped in to defend her, pointing out the obvious. It was one possession in a practice drill. Caitlin has been out for 5 months recovering from injury, and practice reps don't define anything. On the other side, Paige Bueckers fans celebrated like it was a championship moment, treating one made shot as proof of something bigger. The truth both sides ignore is simple. Elite players score on each other all the time. When great offense meets great defense, sometimes the shooter wins, and sometimes the defender does. One play in practice tells you nothing about who's better. But balance and context don't get clicks. Loud opinions and team loyalty do. That's how the comments spiraled into unnecessary shots. Some mocked Paige by saying she was finally happy to win something, ignoring the serious injuries that kept her from competing for titles. Others joked that Paige thought Caitlin was on her team because of turnovers, dragging in old college matchups where Iowa beat UConn. None of it had anything to do with the actual play everyone was arguing about. The pettiness around this clip is off the charts, and USA Basketball knew exactly what would happen when they posted it. They understand the fan bases, the rivalries, and how quickly people jump on anything that looks like drama involving Caitlin and other stars. What gets lost is what actually matters. Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers are both elite players. They're not rivals right now. They're teammates preparing Team USA for international competition. Turning every small moment between them into a verdict on who's better is exhausting and pointless. The practice footage showed something important. Caitlin looked good after 5 months away from real competition. She moved well, shot with confidence, and played with energy on defense. For someone who missed most of the WNBA season with knee issues, she looked ready to compete. One analyst even pointed out how impressive it was that Caitlin stayed mentally locked in while injured. Sitting out when you want to play is hard, especially after going straight from a historic college season into the WNBA with no break. Yet she stayed engaged, supported her team, and stayed connected, which says a lot about her maturity. The clips also showed her working defensively. She's never been an elite defender, but the idea that she's a liability is overblown. She competes, she stays involved, and she holds her own. That's what the footage actually showed, if people were willing to look past the noise. The fact that she's clearly working on defense in Team USA practices shows awareness and effort. She knows it's an area she can improve, and she's making a point to compete on that end. That matters. Paige Bueckers being at this camp is important too. She's coming off her own injury setbacks and is working to re-establish herself as one of the game's elite players. When Paige first arrived at UConn, the hype was enormous. She was expected to be the next face of women's basketball. Then injuries changed the timeline. By the time she was healthy again, Caitlin Clark had taken over the college basketball spotlight. That shift wasn't Paige's fault. It's just how injuries work. That context helps explain the dynamic. Paige is trying to reclaim momentum, and while one made shot in practice doesn't do that, it gives her fans something to latch onto. It also feeds a rivalry narrative that USA basketball knows will drive engagement. People who predicted this would get weird were right. Within minutes, the conversation turned into fan-base warfare. Any real basketball discussion disappeared, replaced by defending one player and tearing down the other. One Paige fan even said that acting like she cooked Caitlin on that play was ridiculous, and that's a fair take. One practice possession proves nothing. Both players have scored on each other plenty of times over their careers. That's what elite offensive players do. Paige uses craft and pump fakes to create space. Caitlin has her own deep bag of moves. None of that changes because of one clip from a drill. The step-back threes, the deep pull-ups, the ability to shoot off the dribble from nearly 30 feet. Both players have elite offensive skill and can score in many different ways. That's not up for debate. What's frustrating is that, after 5 months, we finally got to see Caitlin Clark play real, competitive basketball again. Not solo workouts, not empty gym shooting, actual reps against defenders, making reads, and competing in game-like drills. That should have been a headline. Caitlin is back, and she looks ready. Instead, the focus shifted to one practice shot Paige hit and the chaos that followed in the comments. USA basketball got the engagement it wanted, but it turned what should have been a celebration of elite players working together into unnecessary drama. There was plenty else worth noticing in that footage. Cameron Brink making plays. Kelsey Plum and Angel Reese on the floor. Chelsea Gray moving carefully as she works back from injury. Juju Watkins watching from the sidelines. This camp is full of talent and real storylines, but none of that drives clicks like Caitlin versus Paige, so that's what got pushed. Some fans also asked why Sabrina Ionescu wasn't at the camp, which is a fair question. She's one of the best players in the league and has worn the USA jersey before. The likely answer is that this camp is focused on the next generation, giving younger players a chance to prepare for future international competitions. That's why you see players like Caitlin Clark, Paige Bueckers, Cameron Brink, Juju Watkins, and others who are expected to carry Team USA for the next decade. This camp is about the future. Some of the comments crossed the line. Saying Paige was finally excited to win something was especially cruel. She's dealt with serious injuries that robbed her of key years in college. That's not something to joke about. It's unfortunate for the game and for a player with that level of talent. But online spaces don't reward empathy or context. They reward loud opinions and fan loyalty. So instead, we get cheap shots, mocking Paige, or piling on Caitlin for getting scored on during a practice drill. In the end, no one really wins except the platforms collecting engagement. What actually mattered was seeing Caitlin hit her signature step-back three after 5 months away from real competition. That shot, the deep range, quick release, and confidence to pull from well beyond the line, is what makes her special. Even USA basketball highlighted it, showing they understand her impact. Seeing Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston together also made sense. Their existing chemistry with the Indiana Fever carries over naturally, and having familiar teammates helps players settle in faster at a camp like this. One final point worth mentioning. Nike needs to be ready. Caitlin in a Team USA number 17 jersey is going to sell? No question. The demand is obvious. Nike already missed opportunities during the WNBA season, and this time, the spotlight is impossible to ignore. They can't afford to miss another moment like this while she's wearing a Team USA jersey. Having younger players like Juju Watkins and Lauren Betts at camp just to observe and learn is a smart move. They get to see the speed, physicality, and decision-making required at this level. Juju, in particular, looks like someone who could be a key piece for Team USA for years. But all of that context gets buried because one practice shot became the focus. That's where women's basketball discussion sits right now. The game is growing, more eyes are on it, but too often the conversation turns into fan wars instead of real appreciation for the sport. The truth is simple. Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers are both elite players. Competing against each other makes them better. If there's a rivalry at all, it raises the level of both. The best players want to face other great players. That's how growth happens. That story just doesn't drive clicks. Drama does. So USA Basketball posts the clip of Paige scoring, the internet explodes, and everything else gets lost. And that says more about how fans engage with the game right now than it does about either player.